history of modern aerial warfare, very few aircraft have earned a reputation as fearsome, versatile, and legendary as the McDonnell Douglas F-4 Phantom II. Born in the intense atmosphere of the Cold War, the F-4 Phantom II was not just a fighter jet. It was a symbol of raw power, speed, and technological dominance. When it first appeared in the skies, it changed the balance of air combat forever. This aircraft was loud, fast, intimidating, and unstoppable in its time. Pause. Music swells. The story of the F-4 Phantom II begins in the 1950s, an era defined by fear, rivalry, and the race for air superiority. The United States needed a jet that could do everything: intercept enemy bombers, dominate dogfights, strike ground targets, and survive hostile skies. McDonnell Aircraft answered that call. The result was the Phantom II, an aircraft so advanced that it served not only the U.S. Air Force, but also the Navy and Marine Corps. Very few jets in history have achieved such universal acceptance. Section 1: Design and Power. At first glance, the F-4 Phantom II looks brutal and aggressive. Its twin-engine design, massive air intakes, and wide wings gave it a powerful presence. This was not a sleek, delicate fighter, it was a flying beast. Powered by two J79 turbojet engines, the Phantom could exceed Mach 2.2, more than twice the speed of sound. When its afterburners ignited, the roar could be heard miles away, striking fear before the jet was even seen. The aircraft's speed allowed it to intercept enemy bombers, escape danger, and dominate the skies during its prime. Section 2: A Missile Age Fighter. The F-4 Phantom II was designed during the early missile age. Engineers believed that future air combat would rely entirely on missiles, not guns. Because of this belief, early versions of the Phantom carried no internal cannon. Instead, it was armed with radar-guided and heat-seeking missiles capable of destroying enemies from long distances. This made the Phantom one of the most advanced fighters of its time, equipped with powerful radar systems that could detect targets far beyond visual range. Later combat experience would change these assumptions, but the Phantom adapted. Section 3: Combat History. The F-4 Phantom II saw combat across the world. It played a major role during the Vietnam War, where it faced intense aerial combat against agile enemy fighters. While early encounters revealed weaknesses in close-range dogfighting, pilots quickly learned to exploit the Phantom's strengths, speed, power, and missile firepower. As upgrades were introduced, internal cannons were added, and pilot training improved. The Phantom evolved into a deadly multi-role fighter. It could bomb enemy positions, intercept hostile aircraft, perform reconnaissance, and support ground forces, all in one mission. Few aircraft have ever matched this level of versatility. Section 4: Psychological Impact. Beyond its physical abilities, the F-4 Phantom II had a psychological effect on enemies. The sound alone was terrifying. The deep thunder of its engine signaled destruction. When Phantom jets appeared overhead, enemies knew that precision strikes or overwhelming firepower were moments away. Its presence dominated battlefields, skies, and enemy morale. Section 5: Global Service. The Phantom II was not limited to American service. It was exported to many allied nations and remained in active service for decades. Countries across the Middle East, Europe, and Asia relied on the Phantom as the backbone of their air forces. Some nations modernized their Phantoms with new avionics, radar systems, and weapons, extending their service life well into the 21st century. This longevity proves the brilliance of its original design. Section 6: Iran and the Phantom. Before the 1979 revolution, Iran acquired a significant fleet of F-4 Phantom II jets. These aircraft became a crucial part of Iran's air power. Even after decades of sanctions and limited access to spare parts, Iran continued to operate and maintain its Phantom fleet through domestic upgrades and engineering ingenuity. This makes the F-4 one of the longest-serving combat aircraft in Iranian history. Section 7: Strengths and Weaknesses. Like any machine, the Phantom had flaws. It was large, heavy, and less agile than smaller fighters. In close dogfights, lighter aircraft could sometimes outmaneuver it, but the Phantom compensated with brute force. Its speed, payload capacity, and long-range weapons allowed it to strike first, and strike hard. In war, the first strike often decides everything. Section 8: Legacy. Today, many F-4 Phantom II jets rest in museums or serve in limited roles. But their legacy remains untouchable. They shaped modern air combat doctrine. They proved the value of multi-role fighters. They dominated skies across multiple wars and continents. Pilots who flew the Phantom remember it not just as an aircraft, but as a living, roaring force of power. Conclusion. Slow, epic music. The McDonnell Douglas F-4 Phantom II was more than metal and engines. It was fear. It was speed. It was dominance. A legend of the skies. A nightmare for enemies. And a timeless symbol of air power. Even today, its shadow looms large over the history of military aviation.